the State Security Council that he has enough information to give to members of the public until, and not just him, you know, you also have the different programs, military programs that are ongoing, you know, to make sure that banditry is completely reduced to the barest minimum. Okay. So some of those things appear to be working. If you look at the National Security Advisor's brief, if you listen to it and you study it, you will also see that he has also alluded to the fact that the level of insecurity that we used to have in the past appears to have reduced. So for a number of reasons, especially the use of both non-kinetic and kinetic method. Kinetic in the sense that military use arms and so on, but then the non-kinetic, making sure that you are also trying to work with locals.
Well, in the provision of intelligence. Mr. Young, as it stands right here, the case of insecurity has actually been increased and not reduced. I don't know if the last time you visited any of the northern states, and if you have actually been, that's why I asked from the beginning, if you are aware of the cases of insecurity, kidnapping, you know, killing and whatnot. And then the case of an explosion that happened in Zamfara State last week. You know, so it's been on the edge. And right here, it's also part of the reasons why there's been a case of food insecurity. I don't know the last time you actually had the opportunity to ask questions about food prices. And this northern state, they produce most of the staple foods we consume. And right here, we don't get them, we don't have access to them as much as we do because they barely go to farms. Most of them barely go to farms because these bandits attack them in their farms, kidnap them, you know, attack them, most time kill them, or make way with their cattle. And would have been cases of cattle-headed clashes and all of that. Okay, so I don't know why you have to say that the case of insecurity has been reduced as it stands. Yeah,
the insecurity, if you put it on scale, you're looking at some factors, key cases. If I use some case studies, prior to this time, we had a situation where people were traveling on rail from Abuja to Kaduna, and there were attacks on them.
Yes.
You are very much aware. We are also aware of situations where, in fact, students in schools, bandits had gone to schools and kidnapped those that are in schools. This is in addition to a lot of suicide bombings and so on. Some of these things we don't hear them again the way we used to hear them. So if you look at some of these narratives, yes, food insecurity, the fact that the cost of food is high could be attributed to a lot of factors, including the cost of price of petroleum. Because if these foodstuffs are there and the cost of bringing them is prohibitive itself, on the long run, the price difference will be passed on to consumers. Okay. But that does not, I also see your angle where you are saying that, okay, these are the food baskets of the nation, and that we are not seeing, it's not that we are seeing food, but where the problem is in terms of the cost of this food. Okay. And largely because of the cost of conveying such a foodstuff to the point of consumers.
Thank you very much on that, Mr. Young. I want to get your thoughts about this story. What do you have to say about this, Okoro?
Well, just like Mr. Young have said, you can give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Nobody will begin to argue with him. Okay. On his, he said he thinks. So I don't know whether he's working with statistics or what he perceives, what he thinks. He said, I think in the last 6 months. Okay, but that, let's leave it for him. But you know, I am part of the ordinary citizens of this country. there is this perception about people in leadership. The ordinary citizens no longer believe them and believe in them. Whatever thing they say, people take the opposite side of it. When they tell you that it is A, people say no, it is B. Because they are not seeing honesty in them and from them. So, if you ask a typical Zamfara citizen now, he may tell you that in Zamfara, there is insecurity. Kidnapping is ongoing on a daily basis. So, but you don't expect the governor to accept that in the public.
But why wouldn't you accept that? Because this is a state that you oversee.
On him
Other states' governor has actually accepted with the fact that yes, we have cases of insecurity in our states, and we seek for the help. We seek for the help of the federal government to intervene, send troops to our states. So why will the governor not accept it? Even said they will not negotiate with bandits in cases that your lives of your citizens are involved.
They will be doing that at the backstage, interfacing with the federal government to send troops and all those things. But they cannot come out publicly. They are demarketing their state. When they say so, they are only telling you, don't have anything to do with our state. There is kidnapping, there is insecurity, there is banditry, there is armed robbery, there is kill. So no governor will come to do that, accept such facts publicly.
Okay. Because
you are only telling them that your state is, I don't know if I call it hellfire, whether it will suffice to describe it like that. You tell them that it's a den it's a dungeon. Don't even step into my state.
So he's trying to sugarcoat it.
Exactly.
His
that
statements,
is
not
part of his functions and listens. He can't come to expose the negative aspects.
But in the detriment of the lives and properties of the citizens.
It is there for the citizens to debunk. Maybe
or remain there.
Yes.
Well,
I think we need to I still believe that we need to give him some benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Because when he says 6 months, he clearly said within the last 6 months, he has stayed in power for about 18, that is, he has stayed in power for about 18 months now.
Remember he said he thinks. He was not really
not sure about it.
Of course, he has to think. Won't you think? he has to think. So his thinking could be informed by statistics available to him. His thinking could be informed by the briefs that he gets from security commanders that are within the theaters of some of these conflicts.
How about the people involved in this situation?
His thinking could also be the facts. You know, he came out and not just criticized, he came out, but very openly to say that the kidnap of about 50 indigents of a particular local government area, that it is false. And this is where investigative journalism comes to play. If they think otherwise, then they should also establish the facts. This is where the media actually comes in. So if he has made some claims, just as he has, he needs to be listened to, because he has information that is not at our disposal. I will address the issue of trust deficits.
But according to the World Bank, the World Bank mentioned Zamfara as one of the states that has been affected by the case of food insecurity because of the whole bandit situation. So how does that statistics get into place from the World Bank?
Of course, the World Bank, we also know the World Bank is not that everything that the World Bank says that we have to accept its hook, line and sinker.
Okay.
We also have our own perspectives and perceptions about the World Bank. But we know that they are also working with a lot of local groups to get their statistics.
Okay.
To get their statistics. But again, we can't completely, you know, just as Chidi is saying that Nigerians have a trust deficit towards their government. We have been relating with the World Bank as a country, and some of their ways and the statistics that they throw at us sometimes have become suspects.
Okay, thank you very much, both of you, for your analysis. But moving forward, we have that Vice President Kashim Shettima has criticized the newly elected UK Conservative Party leader, Kemi Badenoch, for making disparaging remarks about Nigeria. Speaking at the 10th Annual Migration Dialogue at the State House in Abuja on Monday, Shettima emphasized that migrants are a vital source of life in all societies. He said, Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the British Labour or Conservative Party, we are proud of her in spite of her efforts at denigrating her nation of origin. She is entitled to her own opinions. She has even every right to remove the Kemi from her name. But that does not underscore the fact that the greatest black nation on earth is a nation called Nigeria. In 2022, Badenoch faced criticism for remarks describing her experiences growing up in Nigeria, citing corruption, unfulfilled promises, and poverty. I grew up in Nigeria and I saw firsthand when politicians are in it for themselves, when they use private money as their piggy banks, when they promise the earth and they pollute. Not just the earth, but the whole politician atmosphere with their failure to serve others. I saw what socialism is for millions. I saw poverty and broken dreams. I came to Britain to make my way in a country where hard work and honest endeavor can take you anywhere, she said. Well, firstly, I want to get your thoughts, Mr. Chidi. First off, from the part of Badenoch, do you agree with what she had, the comment she has made? Because she has gotten most of her criticism that, so this is someone that because she's the first black personnel to be elected as a conservative at the Conservative Party position in the United Kingdom. Do you agree with her thoughts that Nigeria is in the form that she has seen it, that there is no space for, there has been cases of corruption, like you said, that the politicians will want to say things that will benefit them, and there has been cases of poverty and all whatnot. In as much as, yes, some people might agree, yes, this is a situation, do you feel it was right to make that comment about the country where she comes from?
She's all obviously saying the obvious, and she didn't want to hold back the truth. She said it as it is. And the vice president have remarked that she is entitled to her opinion. And there's no one should doubt her. She said this were her experiences while growing up in Nigeria before she migrated to the UK. And she saw the difference. In the UK, she saw that everything is done by merit, where hard work pays. But in the country where she grew up, it was not so. It's a country where if you don't have anybody, you can't get employment. You don't have anybody, you can't get scholarship. So it's a country of, according to, I'm trying to maybe paraphrase her statement. Things don't work normal. The leaders, the politicians, she described them as corrupt. They are using the public money, public funds as their piggy bank. We all know what piggy bank means. Where you save your personal money and you use it at will. Whereas these funds are meant for the public utilization and whatever. But they are amassing those funds to themselves. She said she grew up in this country and saw it that way. And now there is a difference. And she's only expressing that. I don't think anybody should begin to cast aspersions on her.
Okay.
For saying the obvious and the truth that we all know.
Thank you on your thoughts about. Do you agree with him that she was actually expressing herself? And yes, everyone has a right to their opinion. But do you agree with what Mr. Chidi has said?
No, she was. She expressed herself very clearly, and for me, I don't believe that we should. You know, people are thinking that a statement like that coming from her is capable of demarketing the country.
The country.
But we have also seen our leaders say worse things. We have seen our leaders say worse things. One of the leaders of this country went abroad and told us that our youths are all lazy. Mm-hmm. So she's entitled to her opinion.
Okay.
To her freedom of expression, and this is her impression of what she saw in Nigeria. Remember that she was born abroad, that is, she holds dual citizenship, and that she was brought here by her parents to attend secondary school. That was what first brought her here. The parents saw the need for her to return home, perhaps to get attuned to her culture and
experience
and so on, the experience here, before she went back. And she has told you that hard work, that where she is now is a system where hard work and honesty operates. And I don't think that we should spend time contesting. Perhaps the contest is coming from the level being the leader of the Conservative Party of Britain. But again, if these things are not there, today an organization like the National Orientation Agency is talking about the National Values Charter. And of the 7 commitments by government, one of the key commitments that the government committed itself to is the issue of meritocracy. The National Values Charter is a baby of the National Orientation Agency, but got approval from the federal government. So meritocracy is one of the commitments, what government owes her citizens. So if she's saying that she worked through hard work and she merits this, that is what we expect that every Nigerian should imbibe.
Okay,
so we are talking about leadership too.
I want to chip in something. Are you also trying to say that are you trying to support the aspects of this Japa situation that since Nigeria doesn't pay your hard work, it's okay to go to a different country where you work and you merit what you work for?
Of course, it's very clear that migration, labor migration, is allowed anywhere and everywhere. But we have a situation that may have created for the Japa syndrome.
What situation causes that, please?
Of course, if people cannot people feel that they cannot actualize their full potentials, where people feel that the enabling environment, we just discussed the issue of security, wasn't there. And people come out from school, you are telling them, you are sitting down here to tell them that the skills they have acquired are not employable, and there are other better opportunities, enabling environment for them to fulfill their potential.
Okay, thank you.
I'm coming.
Let me
yes, then the issue of Japa will come in. But the current administration is also taking steps to address this.
Address what?
To address the issue of Japa.
Okay, I want to guess. I wanted to ask you a question, Ms. Okoro. Do you feel that the Vice President Shettima should have made this statement instead of handling the main situation of this Japa? Do you think that he should have actually talked about the main situation that generated a bad enough to make this statement than slamming her over the comment she made?
Of course, he will not expect him to start clapping for the woman.
No.
So he has done what he's expected of him to do.
Okay.
Yes.
and that's what is expected of him to do. He Mr. Ayo talked about the fact that some Nigerians get to leave the country because it is not conducive. He mentioned the case of insecurity. As the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, do you think this is a statement that he should have made instead of shooting hitting the nail on the head, addressing the situation while because indirectly it was more like Kemi was what's the word, appealing or trying to enhance the case of Japa. Do you think that the president would have handled a case where, oh, let's make this country conducive instead of slamming her? I don't know if I made sense with my question.
Yeah, you know, the issue of addressing the situation, they continuously tell us, give us time, that they will make the country better. So, you know, it's not something that will take place at the press of a button.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you on your thoughts. We do not have time on our side, but we have to call it quits here today. This is where we wrap it up on this episode of Blowouts. Thank you so much for coming, sirs. I really appreciate your presence here. It's a pleasure to have both of you here with me. Yes,
thank you very much. There's hope for Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Okoro, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, on Facebook and YouTube, on Attractive Television Network, on Instagram and TikTok, on Attractive TV Network 1, and on Twitter, on Attractive TV Net. Watch us live on our website at www.network.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Open conversation comes shortly. Don't go away. My name is Chidima Wadike. Thank you for watching and do have an amazing Wednesday.
representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To conduct this act, I thought that people get the lead of this minister and the president. Give us access to our money in charge.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which I
no matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.